Well, Charles James filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. Monday night, 4 members of the Bishop City Council unanimously voted to appoint former City Councilman and Mayor Jim Ellis to fill the vacancy left by the resignation of Councilman Dave Stottlemyre at the end of December. Now, Stottlemyre resigned to become the new Inyo County Assessor on January 5th. Now, the Bishop City Council had 60 days in which to fill the vacancy either through a special election or by appointment. Now, the City Council chose to save the estimated $25,000 that it would have cost the taxpayers to run a special election by selecting from the 2 candidates in the November election that expressed interest. The estimated cost of the special election was up considerably from estimates of the $10,000 to $15,000 quoted to fill a council vacancy in 2013. Now, newly elected Mayor of Bishop, Pat Gardner, called for a motion to fill Stottlemyre's vacant seat for the final 2 years left on his term. Councilman Joe Pexy made the motion to appoint Ellis to fill the seat, and newly elected Mayor Pro Tem Laura Smith noted that during discussion that, quote, the city is lucky to have 2 such qualified, experienced former councilmen and candidates from which to choose, end quote. Now, it was noted that a precedent had been set 2 years earlier with the appointment of Keith Glidewell on February 11th, 2013 to finish the 2 years left on City Councilman Jeff Griffith's term. Griffiths was elected to the Inyo County Board of Supervisors, representing the 2nd District in June of 2012. Now, he resigned his council position in December of 2012. Both Ellis and Glidewell had submitted letters of interest. Mayor Gardner wanted to make it clear that the Bishop City Council had not solicited letters of interest from anyone. The letters of interest were submitted independently by the former 2 councilmen who had run in the November election. Now, new Bishop City Councilwoman Karen Schwartz noted that the vacancy of Stottlemyre's seat was well known in December and that only Ellis and Glidewell had shown interest. Both Pexy and Smith stated that they had approached others in the community that they thought might be interested in the job, but none of them came forward. Now, during public comments, former candidate Howard Wu told the council that, quote, as a person who participated in the process, I feel that Jim Ellis would be a great addition to the council, end quote. However, Bishop resident Gary Colbert told the council that he felt former Councilman Keith Glidewell was a better choice. He cited Glidewell's advocacy of new ideas, which brought savings to the city by going paperless. He also credited Glidewell with pushing to approve the city's new Granicus computer program. Now, that program offers live streaming and archives of Bishop City Council meetings on the city website, and that is open to the public. Now, another speaker, Noe Gadea, told the council, quote, I would have liked the council to consider the 3rd option of having the council explore a special election, end quote. Mayor Pro Tem Laura Smith responded to Gadea by saying, quote, that option was explored, but it would have cost the taxpayers $25,000. We felt it was unfair to ask city departments that had already made great sacrifices during the last budget negotiations to take yet another cut to pay for a special election, so we decided on going with the appointment option, end quote. Now, the November election results for City Council were very close. Only a small percentage of votes separated many of the candidates. The council decided that they would honor the voters' decision from the election results and award the appointment to the candidate with the next highest number of votes, and that was Jim Ellis. And we thank Charles James for that report. Well, a fugitive who left Mammoth Lakes for Mexico over a decade ago was returned to Mono County last week, according to information from a press release from the Mono County District Attorney's Office. On January 6, 2014, an investigator from Mono County District Attorney's Office, assisted by the Sacramento branch of the FBI, traveled to Mexico City to transport a fugitive back to Mono County to face charges for repeatedly and forcibly raping a child while she was between the ages of 5 and 12, according to that press release. Jacinto Flores Yoshmitl, a citizen of Mexico, was sought for questioning in 2004 by the Mammoth Lakes Police Department after being accused of forcible rape of a child. On the same day, Yoshmitl fled Mammoth Lakes and boarded a flight to Mexico, where the press release says he has been in hiding ever since. Now, the Mono County District Attorney's Office has been working with the FBI, the U.S. Attorney General's Office, Department of Homeland Security, and Interpol over the last decade to locate and extradite Yosh Mintel. During the later part of 2011 and early 2012, the FBI and FBI legal attaché office in Mexico confirmed the location of the suspect, and in July of 2012, the Mono County District Attorney formally requested the extradition of Yosh Mintel from Mexico. He was arrested in Pueblo, Mexico by Interpol on January 14th, 2014. After unsuccessfully appealing extradition to the United States, the government of Mexico affirmed the extradition on September 19, 2014. Yosh Mintel was transported to the United States on January 6, 2015, and booked into the Mono County Jail in Bridgeport in the early hours of January 7th. Yosh Mintel was scheduled to be arraigned in Bridgeport this week. He faces 30 years to life in state prison if convicted. Well, we received a monogram from Inyo and Mono Health Officer Dr. Rick Johnson about the measles situation, and that notes that during one of the busiest weeks of the year at Disneyland and California Adventure theme parks, kids were exposed to and came down with measles. Now, the press release notes that there have been at least 22 measles cases confirmed in multiple counties in California, as well as 2 other states, Utah and Colorado. Now, the shared link is a visit to one of the Disney theme parks in Orange County between December 17th and 20th. However, many of these cases have also visited other public places and locations throughout California while they were infectious. Most of the cases occurred in children who were unvaccinated, were under-vaccinated, or were too young to be vaccinated. The source is probably an international visitor, according to the press release. Now, the disease measles is a highly contagious virus that lives in an infected person's nose and throat mucus and spreads through coughing and sneezing. Symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, and red eyes, and a red rash that usually first appears on the face and spreads to the rest of the body. Health experts say the best prevention against measles is vaccinations. Now, while officials declared measles eliminated in the United States in 2000 because of a lack of continuous transmission, the illness is still brought into the country by foreign visitors or unvaccinated Americans. Now, the press release from Dr. Johnson notes that of local concern, the rate of personal belief exemptions, that's PBEs, which allows parents to exempt children from vaccinations. Now, in California, that has dropped 20% since 2013-14, with 2.5% of kindergartners opting out of vaccines. That's down from 3.1% the prior year. Overall, 46 of California's 58 counties saw fewer PBEs than last year. The press release notes that, however, after holding steady for years, the rate for kindergartners entering Mammoth Elementary School increased dramatically to 12% this year, almost 5 times the statewide average. Inyo County rates range from 1% in Bishop to 7%. That's for Big Pine and Round Valley. Now, what should you do? Well, if you are an adult, it is unlikely that you need to do anything. If you were born before 1957, you are considered immune, meaning you probably had the disease. If you were born after 1957, you were probably immunized and do not need to do anything further unless you're traveling internationally or you're a healthcare worker. You should check with your healthcare provider for more information. Now, the press release notes that children should receive their first dose of MMR, that's measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, between 12 and 15 months of age, and a second dose between age 4 and 6 prior to kindergarten entry, and it is never too late to start. For more information on this, you should contact your local healthcare provider. We'll be back with more news.